Tarot friends, Jade here with Tarot Your Truth. I thought I would come on real quick. I'm taking advantage of the house being quiet. My kids are still asleep. To do a quick video on sort of a July wrap up, what I've been working on in July and also up till this point, and a little bit about what my thoughts are going forward. So in terms of what you see in front of you, right now is all of the decks that I have worked with in the past month and almost a half, I guess. So from the beginning of July until August 8th or 9th, I have used all of these. Now it seems like that is a lot of decks to use in five weeks, and it is, but several of them I have only been working with in the month of August, and I'll explain why. Actually, let's start with that. So the Mystic Mondays, you may have seen in my birthday haul video. That one I just got at the end of July, which was my birthday. And I have, oh wow, you can actually, I didn't notice this before, but you can actually see how much thicker it is, the cardstock, than the other tarot decks, which are pretty similar in height. Anyway, squirrel. So I did just get that for my birthday at the end of the month, and I have been using that for a challenge. So what I decided to do is, rather than just, which I did for most of July, which was just, pick a particular deck for a particular reading, depending on the day, depending on how I was feeling or whatever was calling to me. What I decided to do is, going forward, I think I'm just going to pick a few decks and work solely with them for some period of time. So for the month of August, I picked a few decks, and I decided that I would do some Instagram challenges. So the Mystic Mondays is being used for the, I believe it's called, I'll have to check, but I believe that's called the Finish 2019 Strong challenge on Instagram. And so this is basically being used about once a week. So that's that one. And then I have been using the Ancient Italian right here for another challenge, as well as for general reading. So the challenge that I've been using that for is, again, another Instagram challenge, and that is the Celtic Cross string a spread challenge by Companion in Shadow. And that one is basically a 30-day in-depth look at the Celtic Cross. So every day is something different. You turn over another card, you do another piece of the same Celtic Cross reading. So that's what I've been using that one for the most part. The Shadowscapes I have been using for the past 3 weeks, just for general readings. Just playing with it and looking at it in depth. It is such there's so much going on in every card. So I've been really enjoying going into depth with some of those. Okay, so that is that's that one. The Chicoli deck and the Wild Unknown and the Hidden Realms all along the top there. I have also been using for different challenges on Instagram. By the way, you can see all of these on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I will put the link below, but that is just Jade Indigo 19. You can see them all there, but one is the hashtag Tarot for Growth. Should look this up just right now. I'm having a big blank. Okay, so that's it for the challenges. So that is, daily daily for 4 of the decks, and then once a week for the 5th deck. So that's been really great. Actually, I've really been enjoying that. The other decks I have used for readings, either for myself or for my family. My sisters did ask me for a reading, so I did a life and anchor spread for them, and I used different cards for each of them. So I used the Game of Thrones for one, for the left spread part, and then I believe it was the Tarot Muha for the anchor spread. For another sister, I used the Gilded and the Chigoli deck up there. And then for another sister, I used the Crow and the Mystic Fairy. Anyway, so those are basically it. This one here is the Daemon Tarot, and it seems like more of an oracle deck than a tarot deck. This was one that came, I didn't go looking for it. It came with a bundle that I had purchased about a month and a half ago or so. And it's on my to sell pile, but I thought I would just try it out and see how that went. It's pretty interesting, actually. What else? The Gilded, the Mystic Fairy, all of these I've used for just general readings. One really fun exercise I did one time. So, I kept reading on different places that, hey, you shouldn't ask the tarot the same question over and over and over again. Well, I decided to try an experiment, which was to ask the same question, but using different decks. And for this one question, I used 5 different decks. So one was the Sibylla de la Zingara, right? That one. So I used that one for the first reading. And again, these were all asking the exact same question, just using different decks. Let's see here. The second one was, I don't even have it here. Actually, the second one was the Tattoo Tarot. The third one was the Wild Unknown. The fourth one was the Everyday Witch, so another deck that I don't have out here. I used the Daemon Tarot as well. I think that was the first reading after the interview that I had done with it. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and the Tarot Muha. And I'm sorry. And the I also don't have it here, the Minchiate deck, just to throw something very different out there. It was really interesting because while they all have different voices, I didn't get the exact same cards in every reading. I did get a couple of repeats, but for the most part, the messages were the same, which was fun, right? So it does just bring you back to, it's kind of pointless to ask the same question over and over and over again. Even if you use a different deck, you're going to get the same answer. And I do believe that is because, this is just my opinion, but I do believe that is because the answers all come from inside you. So it doesn't really matter what deck you use. The message may come somewhat differently, but it will be the same message. So that was fun. This deck, by the way, the Mystic Mondays, has really surprised me. I probably mentioned it in my birthday haul video. And by the way, I apologize for that. I think I kept saying can't see anything. But when I rewatched the video, the replay was fine, other than the wind. So I apologize for the audio issues with the wind, but you could actually see, whereas I just couldn't see because it was so bright on the screen. But having said that, again, this deck has really surprised me. I thought it would be just very artsy fartsy, if that's a word, and maybe kind of shallow. The bold, bright colors, I don't normally go for colors this bold and bright, but there's just something about it that just really speaks to me, and I really like it so far. I've used it for maybe half a dozen readings so far, so not too many, but I'm looking forward to continuing to work with it. Okay, let's just put that away. Sorry, you don't want to look at my mess, my journals, and the little deck condoms. Okay, so that was a very interesting exercise for me. And the other thing that I did quite a bit was in the past few weeks, I've received quite a few decks in the mail. Some of them I had ordered quite a long time ago, and some a little bit more recent. But so I do have quite a few decks to get through and start reading with and practicing with, which I'm really looking forward to. One of those was this Visconti Sforza deck. I really love this deck so far, and I've done a walkthrough, so I won't go through that again, but or it may not be uploaded yet, but it will be shortly. In any case, the first thing I like to do is a deck interview. So I spent quite a bit of time. I had to do an interview for maybe 7 or 8 decks. A couple of those I had already for quite a while, but it was kind of a fun exercise. I know some people sort of make fun of interviewing the decks, but I just like to. I like to see. I like to do it because it just gives you an interesting first look at how the decks read, I guess. So the one that I hadn't done, which surprised me, was the Hidden Realms up there. And so I didn't really need to do an interview with that deck because I have been working with that deck daily for a little while, but I did it anyways, and it was interesting because it does give me the same sort of messages, same sort of flavors as the previous readings that I had done. So, but what that does do is reinforce the fact that, it's kind of a good, for me, it's kind of a good process to go through to see how I'll get along with the deck, whether the imagery is too esoteric or too out there, kind of like that. And can I deal with that, or is it just going to take too much work more work than I'm willing to invest? There's another one. This is the Crow Tarot, which I adore as well. So I'm going to continue doing that. I have a little magnifying glass for some of them, like the Shadowscapes, and I've been having a lot of fun doing that. So I haven't gotten through the entire book. I think I showed this journal before. It's just a thin notebook I picked up at a conference that I went to in San Francisco last year with my other half, and they've gotten, like, there we go. That's the ancient Italian one, which I just did. That's a half a page, including the little diagram. So I just did that recently as well. And, you know, as opposed to how they used to be, which was a full page. So I've definitely gotten a little bit more short form, but it also depends on the deck and how much I see in it, and how much time I have as well, frankly. So those ones where I got really short form, I was doing several in a row. So that is that. In terms of continuing through into August, I think I'm going to continue working with the same decks that I have been so far, which is the Shadowscapes, the Mystic Mondays, and those 4 up there for each of the challenges, and introducing maybe 1 or 2 other decks just for occasional readings as it strikes me. And one of the things I have been thinking about for a little while is, you know, what I want to do sort of to go through the end of the year. I have quite a few decks now, and I have several that I haven't even worked with other than an interview, and I really want to go through that. So I'm thinking that I've been reading about the, you know, people doing a depth year and what that is. Sorry, I'm blanking right now as to who started that, but for me, it isn't going. I'm not going to say that I won't purchase any more decks. And in fact, I do have 2 pre-orders that I'm still waiting for. One doesn't arrive until the fall from Wandering Oracle, and the other one is also from Wandering Oracle, which has just taken a very long time to get to me, which is the Marshmallow Marseille. Sorry, the video cut out there. So the Marshmallow Marseille, I am waiting for, and after that, I think I'm putting myself on a bit of a freeze. Of course, I'm going to do my best to stay away from deck walkthroughs and deck reviews for the moment, because I really do want to get a good chance to work with the decks that I have and really develop my voice there with the ones that I've got. So I am going to, at least for the rest of this year, go on a bit of a depth happier. I won't promise a whole year yet. We're gonna do baby steps. So I'm going to just stick with what I have, and you know, if I do find that some of these decks I don't get along with, or I've just never reached for, and I'm not likely to reach for, then I will sell them. Like the Demon Tarot, for example, here, or Damon Tarot, however you pronounce that, is is one that I didn't go in search of. It just came along for the ride with some other decks, and I may sell that. We'll see. So I think that is about it for the month of July and part of August. So as I said, for August, I'll be continuing to work on those August challenges. You can follow me. Feel free to follow me on either Instagram or Facebook. I try to post in both places when I do my readings, and then I upload them to Instagram for the challenge. I tend to upload them to Facebook as well. And I'm Jade_Indigo19 there as well. Okay, so that is it for the July, sort of early August wrap up. And I think I'm going to go make myself one more latte and then get back to painting my kids' rooms. Anyways, until next time, Tarot Your Truth, my friends. If you do like what you see and you'd like to get notified of when my videos upload, then please do hit the subscribe button down below. feel free to follow me, as I said, on Instagram or Facebook. So until next time, my friends, Tarot Your Truth.